Welcome to the Infill Podcast, where we interview the most interesting members of the 3D printing and maker communities, live and with audience participation. And now, here is your host, Jonathan Levy.
Welcome everybody back for another wonderful episode. I'm really excited about today's guests. Before we get started though, we do need to thank our sponsor in a segment I love to do called What's Printing, Jonathan, brought to you by Octo Everywhere. You guys know Octo Everywhere. I talk about it every single week, but it basically allows you to control and monitor your printers remotely using either AI or just logging into your printers and controlling them. And you can see right now, I haven't had the time today to actually print. And what I love about Octo Everywhere is I can do that when I get home and run prints overnight from all my different printers everywhere. I even sometimes print at my parents' house in California if they need something printed from me. So you can get a $25 credit by going to the link in the description, and it's free for life, but if you want more printers, you can do that. On to today's guests. Today we are joined by Martina and Karel of Fillamentum. They are a European filament company known for very innovative filaments, formulas, techniques. So I'm really excited to talk to them and learn a little bit about the company history, but also understand what are the innovative things that they've done and are continuing to do in the world of filament. Martina and Karel, welcome. How are you?
Hello.
Hi.
So it's a pleasure to have you. I always try to do the absolute worst job I can on intros, so it leaves more room for you guys to talk about yourselves. And I'd love to hear what each of you do at Fillamentum. What are your roles? How long you've been with the company, and maybe a little bit of history about Fillamentum. So Martina, I'll pass it to you first.
Thank you. Hi. So it's a pleasure to be here with you. My journey started already at 2016 when I was looking for the summer job, and I joined Fillamentum. Then I did my master degree, and then I started to in 2017 as a technologist on the production, and then I switched to R&D team. Because I have the polymer science and materials at the university, and then this is pretty much it. I've been there for 8 years and doing some stuff and releasing new filaments and everything.
Really cool, and it's always nice to actually meet someone who's actually using their university degrees. There's so many people today, I feel like, who don't actually use their degree, like myself. So it's really cool to hear someone is actually using a degree in material science. Karel, let me pass it to you. How long have you been with the company? What's your role at the company?
Thank you very much. So my history is a little bit different. I coming from the different company. It's called Filament PM. You might know that. You went to US like few years ago. It's like the company knows each other very well because we are both based in the Czech Republic. And I was there for the 2.5 years, and then there was different look on the future of company, and I really sit with the CEO back then of the Fillamentum, and I like the ideology overall of the Fillamentum, like they focusing and aiming for the innovation, which comes together with the risk. And obviously I kind of like this innovative way, like not saying that I feel like, speaking to Steve Jobs, to be honest, but when I spoke to the CEO for the first time, I was like, that's cool. I really like the ideology and I would love to join them. So I joined them in 2023. And since then, I've been working in the Fillamentum as a branding and marketing manager.
Really cool. So as I mentioned before, I want to get into Fillamentum's kind of innovation in a little bit, because you guys really are known as one of the companies leading the edge in new polymers, new ways of reclaiming polymers. But I want to ask Martina, as a polymer scientist who's been in 3D printing, it's longer than probably most of the people in my audience, certainly longer than me. Paint a picture for me of what the scene looked like. I'm always saying, I'm literally starting a video right now where I'm like, there's so many new filaments coming out every day. But what was it like in 2016 when people were printing? What were they printing? How were the materials different? Just paint a picture for us if you could.
Of course, yeah. it was basically almost PLA and sometimes somebody with ABS and discovering there's also ASA.
Mm.
When they wanted something flexible, there was TPU.
Hmm.
But I think that Fillamentum always had those innovative filaments already in 2014 or something like this, really,
Oh wow.
really soon. And it was also with nylon, and we released again the nylon with carbon fibers because of the production. It wasn't very stable, so we did it with my colleague again. But it was still discovering. People were discovering that they can 3D print something and they can try it also in their company. So it was
Hmm.
really, really different from now. And what was there? I don't think it was a lot of PETG like now,
Really
and yeah, I don't think so. Just few, and I think it's increased in the later years.
I'm interested because we all know PLA has come a long way because it is the most popular material. There's so many PLA Pros and PLA 2 and PLA Plus. Uh, as I know it, and as you said, ABS used to be more popular earlier on in
Mhm.
3D printing, and I'm wondering, has there been as much innovation in ABS, improving its printability in your, what is it, 8 years of 3D printing, or has a lot of that energy gone into, hey, print ASA, it's kind of better in every way?
Yeah, yeah, into ASA, definitely.
Hmm.
We still don't have a lot of customers covered with ABS, and it was all the time like, hey, why do you use the ABS? But okay, okay, we will produce it for them. There's no problem. But it was more for ASA, yeah, because it
Interesting.
has good impact resistance, good UV resistance. The temperature resistance is kind of similar, and the printability is better.
Right. So I
So
guess the only reason ever to really print ABS is cost.
cost, but somebody use it for the when they need the um, sorry for that the polishing and
Mm,
for uh, for what's called the layer put it on the some layer draining and everything.
got it.
So but some have it for the impact resistance also, but it's
Right.
really up to the application itself.
Right. As I understand it, almost every parameter is just better in ASA. Um,
Yeah,
except for
it's the bunch of the properties. It's always
right.
that you will change one property, then you can turn to ASA. But if you have a little bit thermal resistance, is better in ABS, and the impact resistance is a
Got it.
little bit different. You know,
Got it. So there's this
it
kind
is.
of like, very specific kind of need to understand. And I wonder, marketing wise, Carl, if we ask you, I mean, you guys are coming out with so many new materials all the time. Talk to me a little bit about the challenge of educating your customers, right? Because yeah, as Martina said, some people still just know ABS, but you guys have all kinds of new stuff coming out, NonOilen, Fishy Filament. Um, Tell us about those filaments and any other innovative filaments that you guys are working on or have released. But also, I'd love to understand, like, is a lot of your job just educating people?
Quite yes. We obviously, when we speak on the latest and the newest innovative materials, is always like bringing that ideology first. The main thing. Obviously we need to educate, but on the second thing, we think always what brings to the community, if it's coming from the sustainable filaments or something like that, that we have to like always, we are a little bit always challenged by what should be the right approach and the right way to speak people on about the materials, because it's
Mm-hmm.
always these materials are obviously niche and are quite innovative, so they are upfront in the like it's the material can hit the right spot on the market, like from now on in 3 years. And this is always a little bit risky because we obviously spend a lot of money and a lot of people on this kind of projects. So it's like we need to bring that solution, that creative solution. Or we always want it in Fillamentum. That's first thing. Obviously, it has to work. It's not just like bring the ideology, but you can print with that, and you are looking like what I can print, what I can even print with that. And the third, we're working a lot of with the companies. So these materials obviously make for community, but we want to find a solution, like more sustainable solution for bigger companies and companies as well, small companies. So this kind of like we learn people about that, we learn about the solution we want to bring, and then we are like more in the direct way to speak our customers when they test it. We lot of when we bring the new materials, it's not like we just in the snap of the finger we like thinking, okay, let's go with the material, but we need to like resolve the problems that every company has, and like
Hmm.
bring that materials is sustainable, but it's work for them as well. So we are obviously making benchmarks behind the scenes, but these benchmarks are made together with the companies as well. So we're getting that feedback, and we try to resolve the problems with the material. So it's obviously with a lot of materials when we are behind the scenes, it's about like 1-2 years before they're even launched. So it's quite challenging, and we speak mainly with them and trying to like if is something we can say better about the material we are coming with. So this lot of like we are not hidden in front of
Hmm.
people, but we speak to the companies, and this was always goals. What we can bring to companies, and then from the companies know how we can bring it to the community, so the whole community can benefit from the material as well.
Well, and I think that's such a great use case because number one, you don't waste energy and resources developing a material that no one's going to buy, right? It's almost like your R&D, you're guaranteed that it's worth it. But number two, you get better information, right? It's like in the startup world, they say like lean startup development. It's like don't go into a silo and develop something based on what you think the customer wants. Like here, it's very clear the customer's lining up saying, take my money, but it needs to do this. I'm very curious about Fishy Filament though, because that seems like something where you guys said, "Hey, this is a social good thing," or was it that a company came to you and said, "Hey, we want to lower our carbon footprint, help us develop this filament," and maybe share a little bit about what Fishy Filament is for those who don't know. I think I have a spool of it somewhere. I just need to find it.
Martina maybe start first.
Yeah, yeah. I think that it was Fishy Filaments that came to us. That they want to provide us with the filaments, with the material for filaments because they have plenty of the fishing nets that are unused, but it is still great material to be reused. And they also wanted to have a high quality 3D printed filament also for the fishermen themselves. So it was helping them to reuse the material itself. And what was the other question? Sorry.
I'm just curious, if it really came out of a was it more about developing the filament or was it more about just reusing this material? Because as I understand it, fishnet is actually really high quality nylon. It has to be.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that's
it's
right.
been soaking in water, and we all know nylon loves water. So there's challenges, I'd imagine.
Yeah, but it is still high quality material, really. It is really strong. It has great temperature resistance and wear resistance, chemical resistance is perfect. So although it's in the water all the time, but it is really strong and it can be reused with advantages. If you print it from dried filament,
Right.
it is really, really high quality still. Yeah.
And it's PA 11, 12? PA
Six.
6. Okay,
Yeah,
so
six.
PA
Yeah.
6. And then do you guys need to add anything to it to make it, or is it just a process of reclaiming? It's just pure PA 6.
Yeah.
Huh. Now I'm curious because as my audience will know, I've spent a lot of time on recycling filament, and for me at my scale, it's never been worth it. And I'm curious, is it, I don't know if you can share this, but is it more expensive to make fishy filament than other filaments and it's offset by the social good and the environmental cost? Or is it, have you guys actually managed to make it cheaper than just making new nylon?
Uh, yeah, I'm not sure how much it costs to purchase raw PA6 filament. But yes, usually the recycled material is quite expensive because of the transport, and we also need to reproduce it to have the pellets, the granules that
Right.
can be for easier feeding into the extruder.
Right.
So this is what increases the price. But the PA6 itself, it's really high engineering material, so it is kind of expensive. So it is, but it is still worth recycling because it has great properties even after a few temperature cycles. So
Right. Well, and I
yeah.
imagine with a lot of filaments like this, I mean, I talked with UBQ, which is an Israeli company, and they have a filament actually made out of trash, like literal trash. And
Yeah.
properties wise, it's not great. It's mostly for prototyping. But what they explained to me is a lot of companies, want to figure out a way to lower their carbon footprint, and using recycled materials is a great way, even if it costs more, which I think is fantastic. Because we do need to do these things that are not
Yeah.
dollars and cents calculations. Like I studied economics for a while, and it's I think it's called like a externality or an externalized cost, right, where the cost of new material doesn't actually factor in the cost of future generations. um, I'm curious about non-oilen as well, because that's a confusing filament for people, because it's, I think, PLA based, but it has a high heat deflection temperature.
Mhm.
Explain that to me, and how did that come to exist?
Yeah, it's in a cooperation with Slovak Technical University.
Mm-hmm.
They started to inventing this polymer already back in 90s because they knew that the polymers uh, will be the problem sometimes in the future. So they came with the formula where PLA is the basic material, but it is the blend with PHB, the
Oh, okay.
polyhydroxy butyrate, and it increases the crystallinity, it increases the temperature resistance, and uh, it's it's involving all the material properties because it's totally different from the PLA itself. So and also PHB is it's produced by bacteria, so the bio-based and also mm, not food soil based based material is better for the environment. Like,
And somehow it's also food safe. I mean, if processed correctly. I don't know if you guys, this is probably a question for Carl, like, do you guys have to be careful in how you market that? Because the food safe police will be very quick to say FDM prints are not food safe,
Yes.
FDM printers are not food safe, and yet the material is food safe. So how do you guys draw that line? How do you again educate customers about the proper ways? And do you guys encourage people, hey, use this for food safe or food applications, but, or do you guys shy away from actually pushing that,
We
because it
are
is
not
a
shy.
huge
We
perk?
we are not shy. We are not shy because since the non-only start with that ideology,
Mm-hmm.
we thinking like we have to find that case studies and people who are not scared, like we said, like at the beginning, you always need to innovators, people who thinking like in innovation way, that find it's like a right way, believe us, and starting to use it in case studies. So case studies replicated in their businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely how we speak to the people and showing that social proof, that trust that is worthy and is and people can rely on that. that it's food
Right.
safe. But obviously, when you marketing and using in the social media, people always will speak about it and being unsure and speak about plastic and such a things, and that the whole story is different. You know, people use it plastic every day in the kitchen and so on, so on. So
True.
it's if you there people work correctly with the material, it's okay. But there's always the pieces that can drop somewhere. So obviously, you can always speak and argue that it's still the plastic and it's printed plastic and it's layering it on each other. So it can be risky to use. But we always like encourage people and
Hmm.
showing that social proof, and it's tested in the
Right.
market.
I mean,
So
I have been known to print espresso cups when I'm too lazy to to wash all the espresso cups around my office. I do sand them down inside. And is that the recommended way to use non-oilen? Because I know you can also coat it, right, with food grade silicone, but I feel like most of your customers, the recommendation is print it, sand it, eat off of
and
it,
use it.
right, and use it.
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. It's as simple. It's as simple as that. Obviously, people a lot of use it for the cups and for the new pieces that could be reused. So it's like we know we from time to time we have to speak on this topic, and as you know, right to you, it's you're obviously launching the four new colors,
Yeah,
bio-based colors on oil, and so we are ready to speak about this again, again, again. You
yeah,
have to repeat it. People have to get used to it even more. So it's in the marketing you have to always repeat things
of
because
course, yeah,
people in that grain of lot of information, people getting lost and they don't remember what they saw yesterday.
right.
So we are always like we have to showing to the people, showing the newcomers and encourage them that they shouldn't be like scared of using that for because it's made for that. So why
Yeah, of
would you
course.
like don't use it when this is the future? So
I'm
it's
curious what
always
are
about speaking.
you mentioned like case studies and stuff. I'm curious because a big thing for me that I like to emphasize in my videos is applications for 3D printing that aren't just, you know, more accessible, but are actual, here, I'll give you an example, are actual things that couldn't be done in other methodologies, like
Mhm.
lattice structures that have different densities at different points, or antibacterial plastics I still haven't seen done well in injection molding. So I'm curious, what are the most interesting applications for non-oilen that you've seen that are not just, hey, let's prototype this espresso cup that we're designing and be able to use it and test the ergonomics, but rather, hey, because this is 3D printing, we can do this in a way that's way more innovative and the material is use grade. And I think
Yes, there's a
while you answer that, I
use.
have a delivery. So I hear you. Just keep going.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. So obviously we always thinking how we can use it like it in functional way, and so is you showing some social impact. So obviously we like did that with ritual stick manufacturing. We did something like when you put into the cup and it's showing you for the empowering the blind people, and because the material could be used in the high temperature, so people it's like you put it in the couple of with the tea, and people when are trying to like reach that point when they stop using the water into the cup, pulling it, drawing it into the cup. So the point which makes it from non-oil is giving you like it's like ball in that small cup. They showing you there is a lot of enough water, so you can stop like drawing the water into the cup. So it's kind of that
Hmm.
kind of project we did, and it was quite cool. And then obviously the second project is obviously kind of interesting, and when it was non-oil was used for sterilization solutions. So I can obviously share that detail the non-oil with you after that. So obviously we all like case studies we reuse them and writing the blog on them. So there's we
That's
always like want to
interesting.
share with the people.
That's interesting. And especially like the ability to just whip up, right, like custom geometries quickly to be able to prototype it, but then actually use the product. Like, okay, cool,
Yes.
let's try to sterilize. As I understand it, it's also surprisingly chemically resistant, right? Like PLA, it doesn't have many solvents that can actually break it down. Like, so it withstands alcohol. I think it withstands acetone. A lot of the disinfectants you would throw at NonOilen, it doesn't bother it,
Yeah, that's
right?
right. Yeah. Also, PHB increases. It's connected with the crystallinity and the PHB. It's also not that hygroscopic, so it has different chemical bonds in the material.
Got it.
And
Now let me
also,
ask a
therefore, you don't have to dry it that much like PLA.
let me ask a tougher question because I'm curious, not because I want to back you in a corner, but we're talking chemical resistance, higher heat deflection, ability to be food grade. What's wrong with PETG? As I understand it, you guys make your PETG is also food grade, or is it not? What I guess what does non-oiling offer that just PETG can't, if processed properly?
It really has better temperature resistance and also
Ah,
against hot water. You can achieve like 120 degrees thermal resistance,
oh
and
wow,
PETG is only like 70, 65
wow,
maybe. And also because it's not hygroscopic, so the hot water it's also really more resistant to hot water and also the drying, the chemical, yeah. So
true.
it's a little bit behaving like polypropylene, I would say,
Okay,
mechanically, and it's 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 different material, but it's really great. You don't need to dry it. You can just print it. It has a little bit higher shrinkage. We must
right,
admit that, but the printing is still good, not like nylon and stuff. And so
sure.
it's really a
The
great
only
material.
challenge
I
I
like.
found with it is getting it to stick to a bed because it has this like
Yeah.
waxy. It prints like PLA once it sticks to the bed. I wonder what you guys do around the shop or what you recommend to customers. I haven't tried the entire Magigoo lineup, but like, how do you guys get it to stick to the bed?
I think that for non-nylon we don't use magic glue. It
Okay,
doesn't work that well. Like I think it would be 3D lac. It
3D
sticks
lac.
better.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, that
yeah.
that I will try that. I'm curious what
But you
else
can
is
always check out 3D printing guides. Yeah, everything
true.
is on our website.
True, true. Let's see. So we're at a good transition point. Let me really quickly thank our other sponsor for the episode, which is Sovol, makers of the SV08 Max and many other of my favorite open source budget printers. So if open source matters to you guys, you want to buy a printer where you can get all the CAD files, all the software, completely open source to tinker, to play, to make it your own, or just because you don't want to be stuck with proprietary parts. Sovol is a great, great company. I love their products. And they have a wide range of them from the SV06 Ace, which is the one that I was using in this tab here, all the way up to the SV08, SV08 Max, SV0, and many, many more. A lot of people buy them as a base for a project, to be honest. So if you want to build your own tool changer, I can highly recommend you start with a Sovol printer. And we'll put a link in the description. They do have a $250 savings Black Friday early access special, so make sure to check that out. Thank you to Sovol for voice crack for being one of our longest standing sponsors. All right, Karel, I'm curious. What other? I mean, you mentioned non-oilen is now coming out in additional colors. What other materials are you guys making a big push? I know the answer, but I'm setting up a softball question for you.
So we spoke about the four new upcoming colors. We don't
Mm-hmm.
want to speak like we are not officially launch them, so I and not even like pre-launch them and show them. So I wouldn't speak about the colors in detail, but
Sure.
they are all bio-based, but will be four colors. And we kind of like playing with that idea, which is not sustainable way, but drop system, which is like limited edition in PLA, limited colors, because people know us for the two things. First is
Right.
the sustainable innovation, and the second thing was always like bringing some cool colors. You
Yep.
got playful, cool colors, and we kind of like it was like few months ago, and we was like, we have a lot of cool colors here, and we like push into the innovative way, but we are still like we enjoying the creating colors, and we're like,
Right.
okay, so we have plenty of colors, and we have plenty of colors. They are not being shown to the people, and we have like for us, because we always trying to, since we have research and development, we trying always like create cool stuff. And since we are working for the designers, we always like thinking maybe bringing some cool color for them for that for their limited edition products. So we just drop that idea. Let's make like drops like Nike
Yeah.
does and other companies, and we'll and see how it works for the community. And so this is the way we are trying right now. And we will never tell people in the when it comes, but when
Yep.
it comes, it's like 1 week before. There's some limited drops, like with 300. We started with 300, and we'll see how it works. So there's the our like playful thing, playful like mm, new PLA colors then for the next upcoming years, and we'll see how it's set on the market. So
Yeah, I actually
the
got
one
a
thing,
couple spools of your Witch Please Halloween themed one. Thank you
yes,
guys for that.
yes,
I
yes,
printed and recorded a short and everything, and then I was like, oh man, it's November 1st. But I should still probably publish it. I think it's still relevant, even if the algorithm won't really reward it. But I think that's a really cool idea, like limited edition colors. I mean, scarcity, urgency, but also just people love special colors. Like I think Protopasta has built a whole business around it of just cool colors. And I want to commend you guys because you're one of the first companies I noticed doing. I would call it iridescent filaments, but it's one thing to do an iridescent filament. I'm going to blow smoke up your butts for a little bit. It's one thing to do like an iridescent shiny filament, but yours doesn't have whatever it is in there that makes silk filament so weak. So you guys have your Voodoo, Wizard's Voodoo, right? Was the first iridescent filament I ever discovered. And it's shiny and it's metallic and it's iridescent. It has like a
yes.
pearlescent effect, but it's not mechanically garbage. So I don't know how you guys are doing it, but please keep doing it because to me, I mean, I have kids. I have two boys, and like I can't. I've learned I can't take them anything made of silk filament. It's broken the same day.
Yeah.
Um, so good for you guys.
Thank you very
Thanks.
much.
Yeah, but when we tried this silk filament, it was so brittle, really. Yeah, my son also broke it, so
It's
so I understand
unbelievable.
it. Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
and you have to
It
print it slower. Like I'm very anti silk filament. Usually, if
yeah, because
manufacturers
there
send it
are
to me, I just
particles in it. Yeah, there are particles in it. When you fill PLA with something, it's really bad. So the voodoo
yeah,
color is more like glitters and like color, other color. It's not
right,
the silk is with the filler itself.
right. What are you guys excited about in 2026 material wise? Because it's interesting. Like again, blowing smoke up your butts a little bit, but you guys were on the PEBA train like 5 years ago, and everyone's now getting on the PEBA train. It's like I have 4 or 5 different manufacturers sending me spools of PEBA. I tried your PEBA out 4 years ago. And I'm wondering if you can tell me. I mean, obviously, Carl's here to make sure that we don't leak any new product information. But what are the things, Martina, that you are excited about that you're exploring in the lab? Materials that you think there needs to be more R&D or people need to experiment with more. What's the next PEBA in your mind?
Sorry, I just interrupt
Next,
you. I just take a minute so you can speak, Martina, freely without pushing from the marketing side.
Sure.
yeah, yeah. So basically, we can hear from our customers that it is needed to get you the uh, halogen-free flame retardant material. It
Flame
is
retardant.
already
Interesting.
produced. Yeah, we will release it soon. It will be great. We already have customers that use it in their aerospace applications. It is tested and it is working well. So it will be soon ready for you. So I hope you
Nice.
you will be happy with that.
Very cool.
Yeah, and other technical material that we are working on now, it is I think number two, really number two in priorities. It's the ESD,
Mm.
electrostatic dissipative material. That we hear from our customers that it's also needed. So it will be in, I won't say, say the material itself, so you will be surprised, I think. But it's
Okay.
really working well, really
It's
well.
interesting to me when I talk to companies like yourselves versus when I talk to, I won't name names, but other filament companies who are very consumer focused. And it does seem, first of all, that there's like a lagging indicator, almost like in Formula One. You know, like everyone in Formula One, we still have, we see the couch here. Whoop. Let's switch this. All right, there we go. We got Carl back. So in Formula One, you know, everyone was really excited about like paddle shifting 15 years ago, and then it became popular 10 years ago on consumer cars. And it does seem like when I talk to companies like yourselves or like 3DX Tech, we're discovering the things that are going to trickle down eventually. Like you guys probably, as you said, were really excited about nylons 5, 10 years ago.
Mhm.
I'm curious if you guys agree. I really think in 2026, nylon is going to become bigger. People need to experience it. They need to try printing with it more. They need to play around with it because we're ready, right? Consumer printers are now ready, and I think nylon is probably one of like the most spectacular plastics out there.
Mhm.
It's like, and if you look into the
Yeah, right.
history of nylon, right? Veritasium did a video about it actually. If you look into the history of nylon, it was a revolutionary material to such an extent that it literally changed the world around us. A lot of the way we live is powered by nylon. So I think I'm curious if you guys agree both on the marketing and on the product side. I think that's the next big. It's the next, PETG for consumers where they're like, oh my God, this material is so great. How have I not been printing it?
Yeah, it is really great. We have that PA6 from the fishing nets, but we also have the PA12. It has a really great chemical resistance to a wide range of the chemicals. Also, the oils and fuels is really, really brilliant. One of the materials in our portfolio, and it has so great mechanical properties. You
Oh
can
my
bend
gosh.
it really. It is really so much resistance. Yeah, it's really
And
great. And temperature resistance is up to 140, I
right.
think.
And
So,
I've never fully understand this, but engineers have told me it's self-lubricating, right? Like you can put it in
yeah, yeah.
situations where there's friction. Maybe you could explain that to me. It's not every day I have an actual polymer scientist on the show. So what do they mean self-lubricating? Like does it emit something or is it just that it heals when you heat it up?
Heels. Yeah, when you have something like screw or the
Hmm.
gears, it really is wear resistant that much that it's self-lubricating. We can say that, yeah, because it really doesn't grind
Yeah, it doesn't
release
grind down.
of grind.
Right.
Yeah, it's really not releasing the microplastics or something like this when you have something like
It's crazy.
PLA or something like that. Yeah, and it's basically that the polymer chains are slipping on themselves, so they are recreating the stress,
Ah.
and it's really,
I'm glad I
really,
asked
yeah.
that question. That's really interesting. Now maybe you can
And with
simplify for
carbon
me.
fibers, when you
Yeah.
have nylon CF15 with carbon fibers, it is really uh, polishing itself. We had a
Wow.
little screw. It was really, when we did this, the whole time, the whole microfarad TCT, it was like everybody just did this, and it's really more and more a smooth surface.
So crazy.
After really great.
I'm curious if you can simplify for me because I've actually done videos on like different kinds of nylons and still I don't fully remember or understand like when do I choose PA6, when do I choose PA11, and when do I choose PA12? Is there, whenever I ask, people who have a background in polymer science, the answer is usually it's complicated. But is there a simple way to understand, like, hey, this one's better in this situation? I don't know if that's a marketing question or a technical question, but
I think more technical. Yeah, it is complicated indeed. It's always, as mentioned before, you can just change one or two properties, and it can lead to other choice of the material. Beautiful word of the polymers. So
right.
it is really really hard sometimes, hard to try it right. So basically, it's always according to the applications. So it's according to how do I start? So the temperature resistance, the UV resistance. Maybe our P12 is not that UV resistant like P6. It's also according to the mechanical properties. How do I stress it? If it is the wear, if it is in some chemical environment. So every polymer has its good and bad solvents. So you can choose
Yeah,
from those substances that could be in the environment. And it's really package of the properties. Yeah,
totally.
so you will choose it is, I don't know, 110 degrees sometimes, then it's UV, and then
And then there's the
it's
water
wear
uptake.
resistant.
It's different between
Yeah,
them. All right, I have a
but
marketing
nylon all
idea
are
for Carl
pretty
here,
good.
which
Yeah.
is someone should just train a GPT. I mean, I'm sure ChatGPT at this point knows it, but some of these filament companies should just train a GPT, put a chatbot on the website, and then you just tell it, like, hey, I'm making a bracket that's going to go on a yacht, and it's going to be under the salt water, and it's going to get hit a lot when I dock the boat. Like, what plastic do I need? Um, that would be a really cool
That's kind of
feature.
great idea.
Thank you.
Yes, yes, yeah. Just use it, just implement into the more things that can be used in practical way. So obviously that's like would be always great with the company bringing some more of it, like comparing and set up into this some kind of situation. But I think definitely it comes to the future, as you said. I think the community is ready. It's grown well, and printers are ready as well for the nylon. So as we said at the beginning, we kind of bring this kind of materials before they were
Yeah.
cool, and now they're becoming more and more cool, and people are it's getting more attention from the
Right.
community. I remember we spoke some to Matthew from the All 3DP,
Mm-hmm.
and he told us like, "Come on, guys, please do these kind of cool materials that we can test it and can be used more practical way." But obviously, as I said, we love our PL community as well. So it's like, no, we want to you want to bring something what makes sense for the industry, but you want to make happy your other customers, which
Totally.
make us put us in the position when we are right now. So
Right.
obviously we definitely think about like bringing more solution with the nylon. Obviously, the company that work with us are really happy that we are still making these kind of materials for them.
Yeah, and
So
I continue to be amazed. It's such a deep rabbit hole, right? Like you think how many possible plastics can, and then every day I'm discovering a new kind of plastic. Like Polymaker recently started doing CoPA, which I'm like, I'd never heard of CoPA, but it has its own,
mm,
benefits and use cases, and it just feels like there's no end to it's like software. Like you think, what are they gonna invent next? And then they come out with generative AIs, and you're like, oh, there's no end to the innovation you can have in technology as a whole. And I think polymer science is part of that. Are there any plastics that you feel like I have one coming to mind, but I'm curious. Are there any plastics that you feel like are huge and could be great, but they haven't received enough R&D to make it into 3D printing?
Marte, want to speak about that flexi or
What? Sorry.
about the FlexiTorc? Do you want to speak about that?
uh, yeah, I need to mention it because we really are still in R&D. It is still not ready to be released. unfortunately, but I'm really excited when it will be ready. It will be huge. It's life changing, life changing polymers for the point of view with the upcycling and with recycling of 3D printed objects and this kind of thing.
Ooh.
But the flexibility is great and the usage are really great. So, have you tried it, Jonathan?
No, I haven't even heard of it.
No.
FlexiTorc?
Really? I think you have the sample there.
Maybe.
I'm
I
not
need
sure
to.
if I was sending. I think I was, but I'm
I
not
need to look
sure.
through
I
it.
guess I did.
I saw a bunch of NonOilen and I was like, okay, I put everything in a box for a video that I'm working on, which is innovative filaments, and I haven't even sorted the box, so I need to do that. Another question, which is, you guys were on the PEBA train very early. I saw an interesting comment yesterday on our community where someone said, like, since I discovered PEBA, I don't print TPU anymore. I'm curious, like, is PEBA going to replace TPU somewhat in the same way that ABS replaced or ASA replaced ABS, or are they very different materials? Because I haven't printed enough PEBA to understand. Can it be a replacement for TPU?
I think it should not because the only thing they have in common is that they are flexible. But
Okay.
when you think of the sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear
My
you now.
headphones. Yeah,
Yes, you can
yeah,
hear.
okay. Yeah, it behaves mechanically totally differently because TPU is based, our TPU is based on ester and
Hmm.
PEBA is on ether, so it behaves completely differently. And the chemical resistance is different, and TPU is better for damping damping
Hmm.
properties, and PEBA is putting back the energy into
Got
to
it.
yourself. So it's really really completely different properties. So it always is according to the application what you need.
Okay, I need to go cancel a
But
couple
PEBA
prints
is
right now.
really
Where I was like, oh, try PEBA.
but
That's
dry it
interesting.
please.
That's
Drying
interesting.
is really cute. Yeah.
We
And
really
it is
need this
based on
chatbot.
polyamides. So when you have the chemical resistance, it's from the polyamide point of view. So it's different from the polyurethane that is in TPU.
Got it.
So yeah,
It's so
try
much
it.
to
You will be
learn.
so surprised.
It's like this is my day
Yeah.
job, and sometimes I get overwhelmed, right, with all the different materials and different ions. I can only imagine how my audience feels, right, or how your customers feel, where it's like not your day job to think about polymers, and yet I'm grateful that we have, ChatGPT now because it makes it so much faster and easier to figure out. Sometimes it's wrong, um, but it makes it so much faster and easier. I guess I
For
was gonna,
one night,
yeah, please.
I will I will show you how it behaves with Eva. It really surprised me all the time that it's really, really great in one perimeter. It's really
Wow.
mind blowing for me. Really beautiful.
Amazing. Yeah, I'm playing with PEBA a whole lot more right now because of that video that I'm working on, and just trying to understand like why would I use it over TPU? One thing is it seems to print a lot faster, um, and it seems to be a lower shore hardness can extrude better than TPU. Like I was shocked how fast the profiles are on the Prusa Core 1, even though that's not known as a fast printer, but they're fast profiles, like twice as fast as TPU. But then yeah, I was printing like some gasket seals for my Voron, and now you have me thinking, wait, it's not going to absorb the vibration of the printer. It's going to return the like oops,
Yeah.
shouldn't. I mean, it's not, this, we're not talking aerospace, we're talking my 3D printer, but it is interesting to think about. What are your customers using PEBA for?
Basically, it is the best material for the shoes. for running shoes that it returns the energy. You don't have to put a lot of energy into running. It will do it for you. It will
Right.
return it to you. And
And as
what's
I understand it, like TPU freezes, whereas PEBA you can put in a freezing environment and it will still retain its flexibility. Right? So
yeah,
like
yeah, it
if
is
you're going to
not
print something that needs to flex in a freezer, for example, we were talking about, sterilizing test tubes and stuff. If you want something that's going to hold on to those test tubes and remain flexible and not break the glass when you try and pull them out in the freezer, PEBA will do that. TPU will freeze and then,
yeah,
become
it's a lot less flexible than yeah, you're right. It is right.
interesting.
And and
Yes,
yeah, really. Yeah.
if that choose that kind of we obviously work with the designers, and we obviously when we launch the PIBA, we like give it to them, the main one. We give it to him, and he tested out, and he came to us with the whole case study, and he was like amazing because I don't have to like care of the injection molding, and I get tested by myself in the
Mm-hmm.
full potential. And I spoke to them and I said, "Do you still use the shoes?" And yes, over the 1 year, I still use the shoes. It's absolutely okay. So
Right.
there's the thing of the PBAB that main, as Martina said, is for the shoes, for flexible stuff that have to be in the energy to return way. And obviously that cost when you think I can use PIBA with the full potential I need from that shoes, and I don't
Right.
have to care of the injection molding, which is the way I think that's the main thing. You can prototype it with the full potential. I would say
That's
that's the
fair.
PIBA the main stuff, main thing.
That's fair.
That's
Also,
the coolest
TPU
way
is
about the material.
yeah, and TPU is really uncomfortable on skin. As my buddy John from Proper Printing can attest, like there's some TPEs that are more comfortable on skin, but they're actually pretty unpleasant against your skin, generally speaking. Whereas PEBA, I think, is more pleasant on the skin. I'm not sure. I haven't
It,
spent a lot of
it
time
was done
molding
like
on my
that by
skin.
it was done by like that. It has to come together with the skin. So because it's made by Peebacks, so they obviously they bring it to the market with the ideology of it should be used by people on their body. So it should be
Yeah,
like definitely set up like that. So as I said, the main power of the PIBA is that case studies show us that you can use that in the full potential. That's the huge thing. That's huge
yeah.
in the high temperature, in the low temperature as well. So it could be tested fully.
Oh yeah, that's an interesting thing as well. Like imagine I don't live in a climate where it freezes, but you guys do, and you don't want your tennis shoes to become rock hard if you leave them on the doorstep, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Huh. I hadn't thought about that.
Okay.
Very interesting. Well, guys, I really appreciate you coming on the show. I learned a lot, and I'm pretty sure our audience did as well. Tell us, where can people engage with you guys? Are you putting out informational content on social media? Should people just go to filamentum.com? Fill us in.
Yeah. Yes, we kind of recommend the most way we recommend the newsletter. They should join our
Okay.
newsletter. We have our Filamentum, shop Filamentum. And with new upcoming things, we will share it with the community. So a lot of people from the community will share the information, and obviously on our social media, because we're coming with we didn't speak about Repagey, which is kind of big thing. We're coming with in, I don't want to say like in the December, but let's say by beginning of the next year, we're coming with the recycled Peggy. But in
Oh.
it's not like basic Peggy. Martina, you maybe should speak about that a little bit more.
Tell me
But
more. Yeah. I've got time. When
Yeah.
if there's juicy information, I've got all the time in the world.
Great, great. So it is basically yeah, it's similar like Fishy Filaments that one company came to us that they have the material from their production. It is the
Uh-huh.
medical company, so it is high quality and they can't reuse it for their products. As like in automotive, when they have the scrap,
Wow.
they recycle it, they reuse it, but in medical company I don't think it is possible or it is so much complicated you don't want to do that. So they want to provide us the material for the 3D printing filament. And it is really in medical, you need that high quality material. It is always the best production that they can produce. It's really across the batches, it's the stability that we need. So we tried to do 3D printing, and it's really great that we can achieve the RPG that is also transparent. It's not according to the recycled filaments. Is not always gray or black according to
Right.
the
Tell me about it.
composition. So I will show you how transparent it is. It's really great. Wow.
That's awesome.
So
That's
we will
exciting.
have
I'm so
also
excited about recycled filaments, and I really want to see more of it. And I want to dispel the myth, that recycled filament is always going to be inferior, because the research shows that a lot of these polymers, most of them can take a lot more heat cycling than we,
Mhm.
put them through and maintain their mechanical properties. Really exciting. I'm really excited to see what you guys are working on and actually go through all the filaments that you so kindly sent over for that video I'm working on. And we'll put links in the description, guys, for everything related to Fillamentum, and you can reach out to them, learn more. I'm looking forward to the ChatGPT implementation of both of your brains just in chatbot format, so I can go on there and be like, what should I do this gasket out of? But until then, I hope you guys will come back on the show next time you have some cool stuff to share.
Thank you very much.
Definitely. We would
All
be
right,
happy
my
for that.
friends. Cool. I will take us out and we can debrief. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Take care.
Thanks for tuning in to the Infill Podcast. For show notes or links to anything mentioned in today's episode, visit thenextlayer.com. If you enjoyed the episode, please don't forget to leave us a review wherever you're listening, or click the like button to let us know, and consider subscribing to The Next Layer on YouTube so you can tune in live and participate in the next conversation. We'll see you on The Next Layer.